What's going on? It was just a matter of time. Just a matter of time. What am I talking about? That. Let's read. I'm not going to read everything though. Australia is set to give its police and intelligence agencies the power to access encrypted messages on platforms such as WhatsApp, becoming the latest country to face down privacy concerns in the name of public safety. Where have we heard that before? 9/11 anyone? Amid protests from companies such as Facebook and Google, the government and main opposition struck a deal on December 4 that should see the legislation passed by Parliament this week. Under the proposed powers, technology companies could be forced to help decrypt communications on popular messaging apps or even build new functionality to help police access data. Prime Minister Scott Morrison has said the legislation is needed to help foil terrorist attacks and organized crime. Critics say it is flawed and could undermine security across the internet, jeopardizing activities from online voting to market trading and data storage. The legislation thrusts Australia to the heart of a global tug of war between tech companies and governments over privacy and security. In 2016, the US Justice Department clashed with Apple Inc. when the company refused to unlock an iPhone connected to a mass shooting in San Bernardino, California. The UK government, meanwhile, has been deeply critical of WhatsApp's end-to-end encryption after the messaging service was used by a terrorist shortly before he killed 5 people in London in March 2017. The Australian government's cybersecurity advisor, Alastair McGibbon, said December 5 that authorities have been able to intercept telephone communications lawfully for almost 40 years and needed new powers to keep pace with modern technology. Law enforcers have been going blind or going deaf because of encryption, he said in an interview with the Australian Broadcasting Corp. Oh. What this law does is help codify a conversation between police and telecommunication companies that has been reasonable, has to be proportionate, and has to be technically feasible, he said. The Digital Industry Group, an industry association whose members include Facebook and Google, has campaigned against the bill in a loose alliance with Amnesty International and the Human Rights Law Center. Okay, I don't think I'm going to go further with this, but I wanted to show you something I saw here. This is another article, and it says the controversial encryption bill comes amid allegations of encryption platforms facilitating spread of rumors, hate speech, and even criminal activities like child trafficking and drugs business. Now, I'm going to be fair. I'm going to be fair here. Do I agree with this? No, I don't. Because I believe people have a right to their privacy. But it is possible, and there might be some truth to, like, criminals and people who mean other people no good using these encrypted apps to do their dirty deeds. So I'm kind of on the fence with it, but I'm concerned about my privacy because I believe people have a right to their privacy. And sometimes having a right to your privacy is your fun. Good fun. Okay? Like for me, I like when females send me pussy pictures. I don't mind texting dirty, languages to females and stuff like that. I don't want people just looking at my shit. Like we have a right to our privacy. But I'm looking at it like this government because it's starting in Australia and it's going to spread across the earth. Other countries will follow suit or attempt to, and I think they will succeed. Because even if the tech companies win this battle, what these government officials will do is false flag. They've been doing that a lot. They want an agenda to be pushed. They create some problems like mass shooting, all these mass shootings that has been happening. Like, we know this, you government people. We're not dumb, okay? You might have the cops to oppress us because they're allowed to have guns and they have license to kill, but we're the general public. We're not all of us are stupid. We know what's going on. So these people will use the false flags to create the problem, have the public getting scared. Then the public now will assist the government and say, hey, well, maybe we need to start reading people's messages. We need to give police more power. We need to give the government more power, which will further put us in a prison planet. I knew this was going to happen pretty soon. But like I said, it's, I don't want to use the term bittersweet, but it's like, I understand in some ways, because you have people who mean us no good, who are using these platforms to do evil things. But then, like I said, the general consensus, we need our privacy. We have a right to our privacy. We do. And hate speech, what the hell is a hate speech? If you speak against Jews, it's a hate speech. If you speak against homosexuals, it's a hate speech. So if you speak against terrorists, should the terrorists come out and say, hey, hate speech? If you speak badly about criminals, should they come out and say, hey, hate speech? What are you talking about? Everybody's not going to agree. So I don't eat fish. What, snappers should be jumping out the sea and say, hey, you should be charged for hate speech. You don't like fish. No, I don't. I don't eat fish. So Muslims who don't eat pork, they should be charged for hate speech. All the pigs should be marching down to the Supreme Court talking about hate speech. What? People have a right to their privacy. People have a right to not like a certain group of people if they don't, or not agree with a certain group of people if they don't. Just like females have the right to not like short guys and declare that they don't like short guys, they like tall guys. Should short guys start talking about hate speech? Hell, look, even as a man you can say, hey, I'm not attracted to fat women, because they'll come and talk about fat shaming. Like, come on. So you want to spy on our messages because of hate speech or so-called hate speech? I kind of agree with everything else, criminal activities, but hate speech? Come on, man, that's ridiculous. But I don't know what to say about this one. I want my privacy, but I get where the authorities are coming from. But the thing is, you can't trust the government either. That's the problem. If there were a group of people you could trust, then, I think people would be leaning more to giving them the opportunity to read the messages, but you can't trust them either. You can't. So I don't know what's going to happen here. I don't want nobody to be reading my messages. So I guess I'm leaning towards not having them read our messages. Well, that's just me. Anyway, I'm out.